The SWAC championship game is set. FAMU versus Prairie View A&M winner goes on to the Celebration Bowl here in Atlanta. We'll get into all of that, plus two huge classics on the schedule this week. I'm Tolly Carr in Atlanta. This is Pepsi SWAC Game Day, brought to you by Pepsi, official partner of the Southwestern Athletic Conference, GM, proud sponsor of the SWAC, Home Depot, proud sponsor of the SWAC, Academy Sports and Outdoors, official sporting goods and outdoor retailer of the SWAC, and Nike. Charles Bishop joining us now, right off the top of the show. Chuck, you called it last week, man. Let me go ahead and give you your props. You said Prairie View was going to just shut it all down on Saturday. We were not going to have this Week 13 drama going on. What a game that was, Chuck, with Alabama State on Saturday. It was a comfortable lead for the Panthers and almost undone. That was that sweet hook and ladder play. There was a dicey onside kick that hit a few hands there in the final seconds, but the Panthers hold on for the 21-14 win. And a rematch with FAMU. You were on the call, Chuck. A little nerve-wracking there late?
Yeah, a few heart palpitations toward the end there. I think everybody collectively was looking for somebody to pray with, but Prairie View was able to pull it out, and it was a very workmanlike performance. I think they physicality-wise, they matched up well with Alabama State. 42 rushing attempts to only 11 pass attempts. So definitely the game plan was to go in there and play smash my football, and that's what Prairie View went out and did.
All right, it's been quite a season. They got it done. They will play on. Chuck, on the other side of the conference, FAMU, they didn't have any SWAC implications other than just bragging rights against Bethune-Cookman. It was another great year for the Florida Classic. FAMU wins it in what our good friend Von Wilson called methodical fashion. It was a 24-7 game. FAMU had all rushing touchdowns. They play a couple of quarterbacks in this one. The Rattlers have gone unbeaten in the SWAC this year. Its only loss was to an FBS opponent, South Florida this year. Is there anything, Charles, that the Panthers can do to have a different result than that 45-7 loss they suffered back in October in Tallahassee?
Well, I think one of the things the Panthers have gotten a little bit more healthy as we've gone toward the back end of the season. And I think that's one of the things Coach Bubba McDowell had pointed out, that he didn't feel like he had all his weapons with him there when they played Florida A&M before. But it was a dominant performance by the Rattlers when you take a look at that game back in October. But I think Prairie View is gelling probably at the right time, and you might have seen a template for what we're going to see in the SWAC championship game, because from a physicality standpoint, Bubba McDowell will put his offensive line up against anybody's defensive line, and we saw that this past weekend with Alabama State, one of the top rushing defenses in the SWAC. All
right, enough jibber-jabber from us. Well, how about we hear now from the two coaches that will compete for that SWAC championship on December 2nd. Let's go to Willie Simmons, Bubba McDowell, and let's cue up Chuck. He had some great questions during Monday's media session.
The play of Chris Herron as well as Shamar Savage, how much has their emergence really helped this offense?
Well, they're big-time players, man. Again, it's just about us, figuring out when to put them in, when to use them at the right time, and Chris Herron is without a doubt one of the most talented athletes we have on this team. And as I told the coach, we got to be able to get him on the field more, and put him in position to do some things. Again, now that we got everybody healthy, going into this game, we're going to see what happens as far as getting a lot of guys involved that haven't had a chance to get playing time. As I told them, now it's your time. We got everybody healthy. We won't have to play everybody in order to beat a good football team like this. We got to play really good football for 4 quarters. These guys took it to us last time, in order for that not to happen, we're going to have to play, lights out football.
Well, for us, it's always the same mandate. It doesn't change based on the game. And this championship game will be no different. For us, it's really 3 things. It's running the ball on offense, our ability to run the ball and control the clock. It's stopping the run on defense and making teams one-dimensional. And it's being sound in special teams, and if we do those 3 things, that's the recipe for success for us. So, we got to figure out a way to run the ball against this team. We got to continue to do what we've done all year, and that's stop the run on defense. And then with special teams, we got to cover we got to do a great job of getting the ball off and just playing sound and winning the field position battle. But that's championship football at any high level, whether it's, Division I, NFL. You look at it, those are the main formulas to winning. And if we take care of those, we think everything else falls in line.
All right, way to go, Chuck. Man, you're just all over the place. Let's take a look at the rest of the scores from this past weekend. The final game for 7 of the teams, if I did my math right there, Alabama A&M wins its finale over Mississippi Valley State. Donovan Eaglin was the star of the show last Thursday night. He rushed for 207 yards on 27 carries. He had 2 touchdowns. That man was a freight train. You had Alcorn State and Jackson State. They gave us all the feels in the Soul Bowl. Aaron Allen, a very efficient 16-24 passing, 225 yards, and 3 touchdowns there. The Alcorn State defense had to hold off 1 final charge from Jackson State. And the Braves, though, despite the win, didn't get the help they needed for a championship run, but they do end the season with a strong win on the road at Jackson. Prairie View, we've discussed already. They got the big win. The effort of the week, I think that goes to UAPB. A come-from-behind victory in dramatic fashion over Texas Southern. They go on to win that game 35-34. A nice way to go out for the Golden Lions. They go into that fourth quarter trailing it big. 34-13. That's a let's beat the traffic score, honey, late in the game. But UAPB got into the express lane, and they took off. They had 2 rushing touchdowns, a punt return for a score, 22 points in that final frame for the 35-34 win. And FAMU, of course, with the win in the Florida Classic. Chuck, I'm going to say for what was a semi-close to the regular season, we still have a couple games left to go. Across the board, much like this season, that was pretty much all the drama you needed for some excitement on your Saturday.
Exactly. I tell you what, UAPB with the shocker of the weekend, like you said, going into the fourth quarter down big, and it probably was some Texas Southern faithful that left thinking that they had the game in tow, but credit to UAPB for fighting back in the fourth quarter, and really it was one of those scores where everybody kind of looked around like, are you serious? They came back. So it was an amazing win for UAPB Coach Hampton, and it sends them into the offseason with some good vibes.
Yeah, you know that thing where you get in the car and then you just turn on the radio just to see what the final score was going to be? There might have been some people pulling over on the side of the road with Chuck.
Unbelievable.
Oh, wow. All right, you see the standings on your screen now. It is mostly set where everyone is going to finish up. We only have 1 conference game remaining for the regular season with the Bayou Classic. FAMU, how about those guys? They break that hold the Jackson State had on the East. Are they the next juggernaut to reign supreme for a few seasons here? And out west, it's been a back-and-forth scenario at the end of each season. Who will win the division? Well, Prairie View now 2 of the last 3 seasons has gotten it done. 2 different coaches getting it done, Eric Dooley and now Bubba McDowell. So let's hear now from the coaches whose season has come to an end.
Well, we always look for difference makers, number one. If it's a difference maker, a guy can come in and start for us right now, no matter what position it is. That means we're getting better. So that means if we had a starter already at that position, we're that much better at that position. We can make our starter a backup. So we're always looking for difference makers. Then we go by the scholarships that you have and the scholarships at a position that you're losing. So we're losing 2 linebackers. So we definitely got to go out and get linebackers. We're losing one of our starting defensive tackles. So we got to go out and get a couple defensive tackles. Safety, we're losing 1 safety for sure. So we got to go out and get a safety in the corner. We're going to lose a couple corners. So we got to go out and get some corners.
He matured, man. I tell you what, he's came along even after we signed Mako at that quarterback position in the spring, and got a chance to bring him in. But Allen came in off of a shoulder injury and bounced back from it. And played lights out the whole year, man. His passing really, really contributed to this offense. So wish we had him another year, but we got to find another quarterback at that spot. So let's see where we're going to be at in terms of that position as well. So we lose a lot of guys on offense, but we got to go out and recruit and make sure we identify those guys that can really come in and help us.
Well, the big thing is recruiting. I'm excited having an opportunity to come in after signing day and hit the ground running and get ready for spring ball.
Yes, sir.
But it's really interesting on how things are progressing. We got a field on campus in place, and now just trying to get locker room so we can be able to practice and dress on campus. I mean, that's going to be huge, and it's going to help recruiting. But going out getting guys, to fit the culture that we're trying to build here, and hitting those guys in the trenches. I mean, we got to go out and get some guys O-line and D-line, and then we went through 4 quarterbacks this year. We got to make sure those guys are healthy. I mean, and all of them return. So we're excited about the pieces that we need to get for this program, and continuously building the culture. It's going to be really good, and really excited to go out on the road.
From the moment I took this job up until now, I said we're process-driven, not outcome-driven. So during this process, there's been a lot of great improvements, and that's why we focus on it, because if we look at the outcomes, we only had 1 victory. I think that would kind of give you a false sense of the just the improvement that we've had over this entire year. So we're in a really good place right now. It's just a matter of getting our players in here, having a full year to recruit, a real recruiting cycle. I think the best is yet to come for the Valley. There's no ifs and buts about it.
Another game, another opportunity for our seniors to go out and finish their careers. Obviously didn't finish the way we wanted to do. Started out fast, kind of didn't finish the way, obviously, 31-7 going into halftime. Hats off to those guys, UAPB. They came back, continued to fight, and obviously they came up with the victory.
You just continue to build depth, Doc. You know how that is. And I think that was a plus for us, the way we were able to continue to compete. We dealt with a lot of injuries this year, but just continue to build depth. We had a great recruiting class last season. I challenged my coaches. I want to do the same thing this year. It helped us out on the football field this year, but we got to continue to recruit, get with our strength coaches, get with him, his staff, and our players, the nutritional piece to it, and just got to get stronger. We want to get bigger, stronger, and faster, and, develop these young men so we can make a run in 2024.
I'm just excited for this opportunity, our football program, the direction that we're headed. And that win was big for us, because people kept saying, well, Coach, you keep saying the same thing every week. But guess what? Every time that God allows me to grace this podium right here and to talk to you guys, I'm going to have the same message, man. I'm a fighter. My team's going to fight. Man, I've been fighting my whole life. And so I'm just excited about where we're headed. And I think we're on the right track. We got to do like every coach said here. We got to go out and recruit some really good football players. And so we're excited about that. We've been doing it. I mean, recruiting's like brushing your teeth. The minute you stop, you start to look bad. So I want to think I got a pretty good set of teeth.
Well, it's not over. There's still SWAC football to be played. Let's take a look at the 2 games on the schedule this week. We got Alabama State. They have restored the Turkey Day Classic with the team that fans really want to see. It's Tuskegee versus Alabama State on Thanksgiving. I mean, that's just how it should be. It's history. It is tradition. It will be a good time on Thursday there in Montgomery. And nothing at all beats tradition and history like the Bayou Classic. It won't impact the championship game like we thought maybe it would have, but still, this is one of those games that you do not need to inject any storylines into it. They are already included. They come with the package. Jaguars, Tigers, the Bayou goes down this Saturday. Let's hear now from some of the coaches.
And this week, we have one more game. We play on Thursday. It's the 99 Turkey Day Classic. We're back to playing Tuskegee, which is our traditional rival. Definitely a Thanksgiving Day parade. I played in the game, participated in it, so I understand the history and tradition of this game. Is the oldest historically Black college classic, the first one. And so I think everybody in this neighborhood and in this area from Tuskegee to Alabama State is looking forward to it. So the guys just need to go out there, play with a lot of intensity, protect our house. We're playing at home, so we want to finish up the season with a W against a really good Tuskegee team that's been having 2 weeks off, so they're going to come ready to play.
I tell you, it's a blessing. Again, I played for Coach Richardson, and everybody that knows me knows my relationship with him. And to be able to stand on the field that's named after him, to be able to coach at the same university that he coached at the position that I'm in, the feeling is indescribable. But I'm very fortunate and very blessed to have that opportunity, and I'm going to make the most of it.
At this point, we know who they are. They know who they are. We're familiar with Graves. Coach Graves has been around the SWAC for years. And if you've been around the SWAC, you know exactly who he is and what he does and what he brings to the table. But at the end of the day, Coach is not going to play in this game. So who's ever runs out first for the tunnel for Southern University, it's not going to matter. It's going to be the players. It's going to be our players. Whoever runs out of the tunnel for us, Coach Jackson, he's not going to take a snap. He's not going to throw a pass. He's not going to make a tackle. So this is an emotional game where we know that the records don't matter. The coaches don't matter. They're going to come and play for Southern University, and we're going to show up and play for Grambling Tigers.
All right, Chuck. Turkey Day will get us going on Thursday, and the Bayou is the main dish on Saturday. Man, your thoughts on this special week? It happens as tradition in the SWAC. You get this Turkey Day Classic on Thursday, and then we end the regular season ahead of the championship with the Bayou on Saturday.
Yeah, no doubt about it. When you talk about tradition, the pageantry of both classics, Turkey Day Classic and the Bayou Classic, bragging rights on the line in the state of Alabama, definitely in the state of Louisiana. But this is what I call holiday fare. You look forward to these type games, sitting around on Thanksgiving, and then the Saturday after Thanksgiving with the Bayou Classic. So I'm looking forward to both games this weekend. So much on the line, especially with regards to bragging rights.
Yeah, it's a big rivalry weekend in college football all across the country. Everybody's going to be playing the team that they hate. But please, if you're not going to be there in Louisiana, put your eyeballs on your screen and find the Bayou Classic and make sure you check out and support that game. Always a great game. Before we go, Charles, we got to say congratulations to some other people outside of football here. The Jackson State women, they won this year's SWAC championship. Way to go there. The Grambling State women, they beat Pac-12 opponent Arizona State 70-67 since we last talked to you guys here on Pepsi SWAC Game Day, and that's a big program win for the ladies there. And the Jackson State men knocked off Missouri over the weekend. Chuck, I know we're here to talk football, man, but SWAC hoops, we're not even to Thanksgiving, man. Southern had a big win. They beat UNLV a couple of weeks ago. We are rolling on the hardwood.
We're definitely rolling on the hardwood. When you take a look at it, these are some really good wins, out-of-conference wins in December. Some things that we don't normally see with regards to some of our SWAC teams prior to conference play. But kudos to those programs in terms of getting it done. Grambling ladies, Southern men, Jackson State with a huge win over Missouri. So I think we're in store for some great basketball this upcoming January.
At the end of the season, can we get a 15 seed? Can we get a 14 seed?
Exactly.
Let somebody else have those 16 seeds, man. You see the dubs. You see the dubs happening here in November. It'll be good to see if it does happen. Chuck, man, looking forward to the SWAC championship game. We'll have another week to talk about it. Let's get through the Bayou and Turkey Day first, and let's get together and do this again next week, buddy.
No doubt, man. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. Save a little room around the waistline there, Tyler.
I've gained 10 this year, Chuck. I got to go light, man. I got to go light. One plate.
There you go.
One plate limit on Thursday. All the best to you and your family, Chuck. Enjoy the holiday, man. We'll talk to you next week.
Same to you. Looking forward to it, Tyler.
All right, and for all you guys out there, thanks for hanging out with us. This has been another episode of Pepsi SWAC Game Day. Enjoy the little bit of football we have this weekend. Big games, though, and we'll talk to you guys next week.